Airbnb market cap is $92.89 billion, which makes it a huge force in the present digital economy. It is the most valuable company in the world, and Airbnb growth doesn't show signs of slowing down, despite not having most visited website, nor the most visited downloaded application. It's quite fascinating to know that the idea started by a young man with a background in design who allowed people to stay in his apartment for a while and get paid because he couldn't pay his rent. Has turned out to be a multi-billion-dollar company in 2024. In this episode, let's get to know more about Airbnb and the success story of this young man and his co-founders. Welcome to the Blecharczyk YouTube channel once again. Brian Chesky, the CEO of Airbnb, grew up in New York. From a young age, he was known for his creative spark and entrepreneurship spirit, whom his mother worked as a social worker and his father a healthcare worker. As you know that this is a channel for tech and design, we are talking about Brian today because of his background in art and design, which has helped in shaping the structure and also the success of Airbnb that you know of today. Brian spent his childhood sketching, creating toy, and drawing. Let's get to hear what he said about his background in the interview Blomberg in 2024.
Turned into a self-portrait.
I didn't realize you were such an artist. I mean, I knew you were a designer, but
I feel probably more an artist now. I started as an artist, became a designer, then I guess an entrepreneur in that order.
Is this another one of yours?
Yeah, so this was like my big high school senior project. This is me basically hanging off a ledge of the Grand Canyon.
There's a lot going on there.
Probably highly symbolic to how I felt senior year of high school.
Which was?
Like, oh my God, like my life is changing so much. I was planning to go to art school. I thought to be an artist. At that point, I didn't even think I'd be a designer. Designer was like a leap.
Yeah.
And I had to go the whole journey of realizing, like, I love drawing. And then I get to campus and I realized I was born like 100 years too late for what I wanted to do. Freshman year RISD, you have to pick a major. And the department head of industrial design came to pitch. And they said, industrial design is design of everything from a toothbrush to a spaceship and every single thing in between. And I thought to myself, that's what I'm gonna do in my life.
So Airbnb was the thing in between.
I guess we're between a toothbrush and a spaceship.
And see clearly that this is a young man whose love for creativity and art influenced the decision he takes. In 2007, Brian and Joe were roommates, young men struggling to pay rent in San Francisco, United States. They got a simple idea, yet an innovative one, to rent out their hair mattresses in their living room to travelers attending a design conference, which they call it Hair Bed and Breakfast. They then teamed up with Nathan, an Harvard graduate and a software engineer, who helped to build a platform for them to get this done. What started as a scrappy solution to make ends meet evolved into a groundbreaking company called the Airbnb of today, redefining the way people travel and connect with one another. As a designer, I have come to realize that most successful company today is built to solve a problem in which sometimes people don't even know that they exist. An example of such is Airbnb. Today, this drill turns spare room and underutilized spaces into a multi-billion-dollar global market. Let's hear what Brian also has to say about this in this interview.
Do you want to make time for this?
I never wanted to be one of those CEOs that's kind of an ivory tower, just looking at data and spreadsheets all day. When you first build a company, you make something usually for yourself. People aren't just numbers, they're people. And that means that you need to be emotionally connected to what you're doing. I understand when hosts are complaining about something or your customers complaining, what do they mean? So that's like the main reason I did it. But then there was another reason I wasn't expecting, which was it's fun.
It was crazy to think you were going to rent your house to a stranger or that you were going to stay in some stranger's house. And now it's just what we do.
Yeah.
Does the level of human openness to that idea still surprise you?
I think I'm less a visionary than an expeditionary in the sense that I didn't have a vision. I discovered something. One weekend I couldn't pay rent. I decided to let people in my house only to make money for the most part. I thought it'd be fun. And I ended up becoming friends with these people. And it made me realize that like these homes are these private spaces that you never let anyone in, but you understand why. There's no trust. And we thought, well, if we could solve a system of trust and make them not feel like strangers, this would be an idea that's spread around the world. I think we have trouble imagining sociological change is sometimes harder than technological changes. We can all imagine things getting bigger, faster, but it's hard to imagine us changing behavior.
But Airbnb has actually been a big part of like maybe a major sociological change.
Probably. I mean, it's been used 1.4 billion times.
Brand design background has influenced how he's presently leading the company. It's so fascinating to know that even at this level of success, he still reads books on design. He started as an artist, became a designer, and today, an entrepreneur. Let's hear what he has to say about his journey so far and what has influenced his major decision into where he is today.
I'm a business person, but I think of myself as kind of designing and making, and the reason I like have more fun now is because now it's more creative than it used to be.
Are you an artist designer first and CEO second? Is that what you would say?
I think you're always what you were growing up. You know, there's something about what you were growing up that's always in your heart. And probably I approach problems more like a designer than a CEO, although I probably set the intersection.
And how does that change the company? How is that mentality infused into the company?
I have like books like this Frank Lloyd Wright book here, right? My favorite architect, or Charles and Ray Eames, two of the great industrial designers of the 20th century. Charles Eames said, the details aren't the details, they make the product. And I am absolutely involved in details. I think design is not just how something looks, it's how it fundamentally works. It's about simplifying something. And people think simplifying is removing things, and it's not. Simplifying is understanding something so deeply that you can get to the essence of something. Even like how we became profitable. We kind of designed the P&L. You know, like most people cut. We didn't cut, we designed. Because cutting, you're just like lopping things off. But designing says, well, instead of cutting all these expenses, what if we just thought about the whole operation differently? To have fewer parts, fewer components. And it really takes creativity to do that.
It is surprising to know that at some point, the co-founders had to sell shares to raise some funds for their business, leaving and making a decision to build what is not in existence, leaving their lives behind, just to ensure that they follow their vision that they have for a huge global market. Let me ask you, today, do you think it's worth it? The Airbnb that you know today, do you think it's worth it for these three co-founders that started this idea in 2008? One key message I want you to take away today will be, what problem are you facing today that you can solve and can also turn out to be a huge solution for so many versions of yourself that are facing a similar challenge in the world of today. That's the story of Airbnb. Let's get to hear what Brian also said about this.
What's your advice? Look, it's like banks are collapsing. Like, what's your advice to entrepreneurs right now?
I think this is a great time to start a company. If you look at the history of companies like Apple and Microsoft, I think we're starting a down economy. Google emerged during the dot-com crisis. We started during the Great Recession. I like to tell people the best time to start a company is the moment you're ready. If your idea is really good and you can make it in a tough economy, you can definitely make it in a good economy. And I think the discipline of being in a really difficult environment will teach you something.
In just over a decade, an idea has transformed the way we travel, connect with even people we don't know. And this idea has even made thousands of people millionaires today. This is indeed a testament of the power of innovation, resilience, and universal human desire. This can be you in 2034. Let me know in the comments what you think is stopping you. It's also fine to let me know if you've never thought of an idea before, or you believe it's for some specific or certain group of people. It is very important to put our share onto greatness. If you've enjoyed this particular documentary, do not forget to subscribe and like and follow for more content like this. Thank you and see you in the next episode.